Hi, this is Dana, and on this channel I speak about spiritual warfare. In this video, God has guided me to talk about a specific aspect related to ascension and basically the current phase of the ascension. Now, as I said in another video, for a long time, God's strategy has been of I don't know how to put this, waiting for the forces involved um, in bondage creation and in 3D creation, creating 3D basically, all this darkness, to evolve for the process of metamorphosis to reach a certain point of development, right? So it has been the time which I described in another video a few months ago, when God chose to hide the light workers, for a simple reason, because all light workers came on earth on 3D in order to break bondages. So there was need for a certain time to allow for those bondages to come together, to be created. Not because God wanted them to be created, but because we came here on earth in 3D to break them. Because this is what they do every generation. It's not invented now. All our ancestors have been through this fight, as I said before. Some of them actually succeeded to break some bondage. Some were more successful, some less successful. This is our generation, this is our time. So basically, what God decided is that He will come with a strategy of ascension. So we are very fortunate to be in the generation which benefits of the ascension, which means the lifting of the veil. We actually get to fight at a time when the illusion is being dispelled by the divine realm. Okay, so this is actually a historical moment for divine realm as well, not just for 3D. This is very special. I'm pretty sure, actually, and I have seen some of my ancestors who were defending me and who actually were eager to be part of the confrontation now, because they were like, we didn't have the chance when we were in 3D. It wasn't ascension time, so we didn't actually benefit of our overall ascension. Some of the ancestors, let me be clear, some of the ancestors did ascend, but it was an individual choice, it was an individual progress, okay? But they did not benefit of a divine realm strategy of overall ascension, okay? So this is why this time is very special, and although it might not be looking like this, we should actually be very grateful that we get a chance to be part of this historical moment, right? Now, for this reason, in order to generate this moment, God decided that there is a time of waiting, basically, just waiting for the forces to go through metamorphosis, for the bondages to be created. You were supposed to meet certain individuals with whom you had karmic connections, either to deliver karma, either to break a bondage. As I said in other videos, many of the bondages in all of this time, we broke bondages and we did spiritual fighting without even being consciously aware of this, through the choices we made, through the level of intuition which we allowed to inform our decisions. So some of us were more successful, some of us less successful, but we all did some sort of spiritual fighting in all of this period. God has actually a term that He uses to describe that period, but it's not coming to my mind. I'm trying to remember it. Anyhow, this was a certain period. Then the energetic upgrades started. which some of them, of course, were a result of some of our ancestors and some of our generation individuals working with God in breaking bondage and transmuting darkness. So therefore doing spiritual fighting basically, right? And but overall these are two different phases. Overall there's been a specific period of time when actually you could notice the difference from a time when there was a transition from an individual process of ascension towards a generalized process of ascension, where basically, like it or not, everybody's ascending now. Something like this. Because God is forcing the process through energetic upgrades and so on and so forth. So, the one specific thing which God asked me to talk about right now, it's something that me myself, I discovered it last year, actually. When, as I said before, I broke bondage and I broke generational curses from my lineage, and I closed up karmic cycles, many, not just one, many karmic cycles with many different individuals related to many bondages which were created against me and against my lineage. Now, the one specific thing that which came to light for me in this process is that throughout your existence, especially as a light worker, that you actually have cherished your light and your practice and so on and so forth. You manifested different things because you have a lot of divine rights in order to receive specific type of abundance. Many actually have rights to receive unlimited abundance. You have rights over specific things which you're supposed to gain through spiritual fighting. These are things which were stolen from you, either in your romantic life, either in your professional life, either in your family life, either in whatever field. Okay, for those you have to do bondage breaking and you have to fight, but those are your rights as well. Okay, but aside from your divine rights as a light worker, you yourself, and not only as a light worker, everybody, I know God, and I know that God will work with everybody who makes a claim, wants something. Now, unfortunately, these karmic individuals always ask something which belongs to somebody else, which is not okay. So that's not okay. But at large speaking, as long as you have a dialogue with the divine realm, you can actually state, I want this, I want to become this, I would like to develop this ability or to create this. And they will guide you and they will find a way to achieve that in a divine manner, without stealing from others, without doing black magic, without doing harm to others, and so on and so forth. Anyhow, the point is, at this time of ascension, and God actually told me to warn everybody. I learned this with dismay a year ago, but now God told me now you should warn everybody, because now it's everybody's turn to face the same thing. So this is a specific time when basically what God showed me, you manifested each and every single thing that you desired in your life. This is what God told me. You manifested everything that you prayed for. You manifested because you're very good in manifesting, right? So you manifested everything you desired, everything you prayed for, everything. Now, the problem is some of the things that came to me, and basically last year were coming to me, and God said, you did not receive them in material existence because individuals did bondage on you, created bondage on you, created witchcraft at you, stole your identity, stole your rights, stole this, stole that, on one hand. And these are individuals from all over your the fields of your life, family, some of them, um, co-workers, neighbors, boss, so on and so forth, colleagues, and so on and so forth. Anyhow, the point is, now that you broke those bondages, all that you manifested along your path will now come to you. Do you understand? Now, for example, if you encountered in your lifetime, let's say 3 or 4 men at totally different times, okay, and you prayed for or desired, requested, tried to manifest a relation with that individual, and it didn't come true. Now, at this particular time, this is the warning God asks me to give to people. This is the time when actually they will come to you. Maybe 20 years passed, maybe 30 years passed, maybe 5 years passed, but now they will all come to you. All that you manifested along your life and did not come to you because of occult practices, but it was God's choice to grant you what you requested. Basically, it's sort of like an estate, a bank account. God kept in a bank account everything that you requested because He already gave it to you in spiritual terms. Now, because these individuals have been studying natal charts and doing readings and so on and so forth on people, they learned about what you requested and what kind of rights you had, and they did all their best to block them. Now, in this phase, basically all the work with the darkness is wearing out. It's a process of metamorphosis whereby the forces of darkness are being rolled back and transmuted. And essentially, everything that you manifested and was granted by God in the divine realm now will come to you. Now, this is going to be chaos, I warn you, because I dealt with it and I keep dealing with it since last year. It's a year already now, you see. But because that means that all of the sudden, individuals from different phases of your life, particularly if you're adult or if you're at an advanced age like me at 50, it's pretty sure that different individuals from entirely different periods of time in your life, and maybe some of them from different countries, will all of the sudden appear in your life because I don't know how many years ago you thought that you want to be in a relationship with that individual. Now, you keep in mind, meanwhile, since you expressed that desire, some of them betrayed you, some of them did witchcraft on you, some of them paid other people to do witchcraft on you. Because this is, I told God, I said, this is crazy. I wanted to be with these individuals many years ago when I didn't know what He was doing. But then meanwhile, I actually did spiritual fighting against Him and I claimed punishment on Him for so many years by now. We are enemies. What the fuck you mean that He comes to me? I don't want Him. What do you mean? This is absurd. And God said, well, yes, but you manifested Him at that point in time. And of course, meanwhile, in the divine realm, we nullified that contract between the two of you. When He started selling contracts on you, when He started doing witchcraft and all of that. But the fact that you manifested it means that you put in motion certain energies. So now those energies are pushing this individual to come to you. At the same time, he did a lot of witchcraft and spells of love and incantations and all sorts of practices of sex magic and so on and so forth. You fought that. You rolled back those forces. You delivered karma. But this means that all of those forces are now possessing him. So he will think that he's in love with you, but in fact, it's a possession of the dark forces which he sent to you. It's not love. It's gonna be a very messy period. This is all I'm gonna say. It's a very messy period when individuals you will encounter, including these situations, individuals who have done a lot of harm to you, and whom you manifested before you learned what kind of harm they're doing to you, will basically appear suddenly and will want to claim you. Now, you have to be. It depends what you manifested as well, because even in your profession, you might now receive opportunities which you desired for a long time ago, and you try to manifest it. Maybe you even prayed for it, and now maybe you're clearly not interested in that anymore. So in all fields, essentially what God was showing to me is that quite the same like they do witchcraft, and all the darkness which they create has to be transmuted. It cannot disappear by itself. Uh, exactly the same, when you are manifesting, you're creating a certain energy. It's a positive energy, but still it's an energy, and it's been blocked so far because of the witchcraft and bondage they created to block your life. But now that you broke that bondage and that blockage which they created, you must understand, without getting angry, that all the manifestation which you created throughout your life and they blocked them, now all of them will appear in your life. It's nothing to worry about, because of course you still have free choice, free will choice, and of course the divine realm cancelled everything, which because many of them have done huge harm to you. So obviously we are not giving them any endorsement from the divine realm. It's just an energy which you created at a specific time, and now you have to release it. So you have to be patient with this process, quite the same like you've been patient with releasing the darkness they sent to you. Now you also have to release the energy which you created long time ago, but again, that manifestation was blocked by your enemies. And now, in order for you to step into your new beginning, free of all of these tensions, you have to release what you manifested before. If you don't want it anymore, you just have to release it. And many of them, it's been already proven that there's nothing to desire anymore, and that some of these manifestations you created only because they were doing spells on you. So some of the individuals whom you manifested at the time were actively doing witchcraft and spells on you. So you desired to be with them because of that. It was not your free will desire. So basically, God, as I said, I experienced this beginning with last year when I broke the generational curses and the bondages, and I closed the karmic cycle. And I was surprised because I was like, what do you mean this individual is claiming me? Because he's been doing death attacks on me, death spells, death witchcraft, voodoo for death, and so on and so forth. What do you mean he's claiming me? And he explained to me, he is under the influence, first of all, of the dark forces which you rolled back by delivering karma to him. So now all of a sudden he claims to be in love with you, although he was trying to kill you last week, for money. So now all of a sudden he imagines he's in love with you, but in fact it's a dark force which he created to subdue you through romantic love bombing and so on. And now you just rolled that back to him. So now you have to be patient and transmute that and fight against it until it wears off. And quite the same, at a different time, you manifested a relation with that individual. So it's been a very long time since then, but as I said, it's been blocked by your enemies. Now it's being released because the blockage was lifted. And all you have to do, again, you have to have patience and transmute that energy which you yourself created. Even if you were under the influence of their spells when you created, regardless, it's an energy and it must be transmuted. That's period, you know. So God asked me to actually share with everybody that this is at this point in time a general process, and everybody will witness that. So it's going to be more chaos than usual, because up until now it's been pretty clear that there was the light against the dark, right? At this point, as I understand, you have to also fight and transmute your own manifestations from past years, simply because some individuals blocked those energies. Those are stagnant energies which you have to transmute before you step into a new beginning. You cannot drag them with you because it's not healthy, and because they carry attachments, so you must transmute them. And obviously, many of these individuals, or even jobs, or whatever you requested to live in a different country, maybe you changed your mind, you don't want that anymore. Whatever you requested at a specific time, and you manifested it, and somebody else, by ill intent and ill practices, blocked them, you know. All of them, you will deal with them now, will come into your life in one way or another. So you must pay attention. And many of them, as I said, in my case, many of them already are your worst enemies. You've been fighting for your life against them. You've been fighting to take back what they stole from you. So it's obvious that it's uncalled for, that they themselves created through their actions and choices a lot of harm, which obviously nullifies all kind of manifestation or intent to be with that individual. But there is an energy which you have to transmute, that's all. Now, if something for anyone, if somebody manifested something in the past that still desires to come true, then that's their choice, and I hope you're gonna have good and nice surprises. But for those who are gonna witness chaos and a little bit of conflict because of past choices and desires which you don't share at this point in time, don't get panicked. You just have to be patient and to just transmute those, so you can actually step into the new phase unburdened with whatever comes from the past, okay? So you have to close all of these doors which you opened, but you basically were blocked by others. Now you have to make the conscious choice, and this will also be a surprise, you know. I was first of all, I didn't like it, because as I said, particularly individuals coming towards me, who meanwhile they proved to be very hateful enemies of mine, stealing a lot from me and doing a lot of harm to me, slandering my name, disrespecting me in many ways, and so on and so forth. But then I found one beautiful thing in this, actually, namely that I was impressed with the fact that actually God granted each and every single thing that I manifested throughout all of this time. And that was something good, something beautiful, specific to the individual relation that you have with God, to learn that actually things which you prayed for, God granted those to you, even if you didn't receive them. So that, I think, it's a beautiful thing to learn, and it's a beautiful feeling to have when you step into your new beginning. Yeah. Okay. So I hope this information will help individuals in coping with this phase in which all of the sudden you will be assaulted by different things from the past coming back. We are also entering the Mercury retrograde phase, which obviously will emphasize that even more. So I hope you don't get triggered by it. The purpose of this video is to warn you and to sort of show the way how you deal with it. Okay, and I wish that as many as you is possible to have beautiful surprises in this phase.